Alrighty, welcome to Supernatural Signals, My Haunted Journal. Excuse me. Edition. My allergies have been a little crazy, and I've been taking allergy medicine, but I only take like a half because they make me drowsy. So I got some new. Okay, Budsy's here. Budsy would like everyone to know that he's here. Hi, Budsy's. Budsy just was outside. Big Budsy. Hi, everybody. Buddy's my dog. If you're new here, he doesn't like me talking. Apparently. Hang on. Okay, hang on. Um okay, so got that sorted hopefully, but Buddy is gonna do what Budsy wants to do. My boyfriend and I always laugh because my boyfriend's nickname is Kermie. This is a weird way to start off this video, but I'll get to the intro in a minute. But he has this, like, doggies have like their cuddly sweet sides and their, behaving sides, and then they got their fun, like, let me go have fun sides. And we always, I don't know if people know, like, the gangster guy that was by Bugsy's. Was it Bugsy's? And then they had the rabbit cartoon. So every time when Buddy goes like a little like ham or whatever, me and my boyfriend go, "Don't let me release Bugsy." I don't know. It's just a thing that we find hilarious as pet owners. But so he's like, Budsy's a gangster. But we find it hilarious, but we don't get out much. But all right, so back to the allergy thing. The allergy medicine I have can sometimes make you drowsy, and I don't like feeling that way all day. So I'll just take a half a thing, and then I'll feel good allergy wise. But then it still makes me a little groggy, so I have to get, and they don't last as long, obviously, because things. So I have to get non-drowsy. That's my life. I'm very interesting. So okay, so if you're new here to this channel, or if you're new to this series, actually, normally what I do on my channel is I do investigative videos on things of the supernatural after I kind of had influx of supernatural activity a few years back. And since then it's trailed down, but I still experience supernatural activity, but I'm more used to it. So I like to use this journal to document that activity as well as just do updates on my life and talk about supernatural things, talk about movies I'm watching, anything I just want to yap about. I do it here. But usually it's more catered to the supernatural. And sometimes I just have topics that I think about late at night. And this is one of those topics. Okay, now this topic might be a little controversial, or it might get some people mad at me. Not mad at me, but more like lies. I've seen proof, and it's like, all right. Like, and Budsy's back, and Budsy has his toy. Hi, Budsy. All right, hang on. Budsy's like, I know the truth, and it's the sock. Okay, he has this little toy sock. All right. Yes, you're getting more squeaky soon. All right, I just ordered him a bunch of squeakies, and they're coming tomorrow. So all right. But apologies. So this is probably a little it's a strange topic, and I just feel like a lot of girly pops and guys that do podcasts that are super into, like, manifestation, and like, you just gotta believe it, did the Jim Carrey thing where they write a check on their wall, and the karmic circles, and karma is my cat and karma is my boyfriend. Karma doesn't exist. So your cat is your cat because your cat loves you, and loves you either because no matter your flaws or your mistakes, no matter what, your cat fucking loves you, and your boyfriend should be the same. If he's not, then get rid of him. But but that's the truth of it. And karma and manifestation, for me, like the universe likes to do, has two purposes. One, it can be used as a really evil tool that gets you caught in a karmic circle that you are going to drive yourself crazy in. And two, which is the purpose of maybe not the good side of the universe, but the bad side, but disguised as the good universe to trap you. I know this sounds crazy. I'm going to get there. I have visuals and everything. Okay. And same thing with manifestation. And then on the good side, they like to use it as an introduction to the universe to be like, wow, uh, Trisha Paytas manifested all these good things. No, Trisha Paytas didn't manifest all these good things. Trisha Paytas worked really hard. Trisha Paytas didn't get caught in a loop of the bad things she did. She apologized for them. She made things right and moved on and didn't get stuck in that karma footprint. She did the work, right? Which is a lot harder than most people can think. Trisha did it. Trisha, and you can say whatever she wants. I'm not here to discuss what YouTubers are good or bad or whatever. Trisha did that. Trisha worked on her rehearsals. Trisha did the networking. Trisha met a great guy that once she kind of opened herself up to the universe and went along with the universe's plan for her, that's when the things that her purpose is that she was naturally drawn to, because the universe wants you to be naturally drawn to that because that's your freaking purpose. That's when she starts getting those things, because it's like, okay, you're using your purpose to help us and we're going to go along with that. And I know it sounds weird, but keep on with me. Now well, you could still use Trisha as an example because she cleaned up her life and went with the universe. So that's still karma in a way, right? That's not just writing a check to someone in need. That's still karma working with the universe. No, it's not, because then there could be someone that's watching Trisha and being maybe has anxiety. So therefore it manifests in a sense of OCD, right? That what we know of OCD, right? And so they see this and they're like, oh my gosh, look at all the things Trisha did. And so they start trying to reach their goals, right? Maybe they want to be an actor. And so they are starting to trying to do kind of the similar things that Trisha is doing. And it's not working, right? Because they're in a different part of their journey. And then every time they don't get an audition, or every time they don't book something, they go, oh my God, it's because in sixth grade, and this is just a small example. I'm going to get into more. This is going to be a long video. Okay. So listen to it or not. So it's because of that. It's because I was mean to Julie in sixth grade. I was mean to Ben in seventh grade. I broke up with Eric. Hang on. All right. I'm going to give you an example. So back in the day, before I started doing all this, getting into the supernatural, I was very big into my career, right? I was very big into this is my purpose. I got to move up the corporate ladder to have meaning. This is me, right? Like this is, you know, um, I'm a quick person at work. I do this, da 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 da. Sorry, Buddy's here. You're just gonna have to hear Buddy if you hear him. But it's like I have a 2-year-old. Yes, my son. Yes, have you teeth today? Hang on, I'm gonna go. I need to go do something with him. Hang on. And it took me a long time to get a place in my career that, like, I would see my friends, let's put it this way, that would just get out of college and it felt like the world was handed to them. I know it wasn't, because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I just saw people after college, get a good job, get a good internship. And for me, it wasn't happening. And it took a really long time for me to get there. And as much as I was happy for my friends, I'd be like, what am I doing wrong? I would do interview and after interview and after interview. And it felt like that. I just felt like a DEI, or whatever it's called, the inclusion person, because I'm a woman, right? Like I, it felt like a joke. It felt like I was getting like just rammed, right? And right before I had a supernatural shift, my career kind of started getting better, right? And I started being like, oh my gosh, all this karma energy. And before that, before that, I started getting really into kind of manifestation, because that's what you see on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok anymore, but back then I'd be on TikTok and I'd see people being like karma and like, you got to say, I attract. So I started saying I don't even remember the phrase, but I said it like every fucking day. I said before every interview, I was like, I don't chase, I attract, blah, blah, blah. That was it. And I would say it all the time. I started getting really into the karma thing. I started writing all the scripts and everything like that. And I finally got like a job where I could be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like I'm finally can afford groceries without like worrying about my, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. Like, you know what I mean? It finally felt like it worked out. Well, within a fucking year, it was like taken away from me. And it wasn't like I thought it was going to be. And it was horrible. And it was like mind games. And it just was not for me. Right. It was just like one of those things where those thing. And then I had a supernatural crash course, I guess, if you want to talk about it. That's kind of like my background. Okay. And it was just like, but that career path was never supposed to be for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I still work. Your girl got to pay the bills. But when my manager asked me if I want to move up the company, I'm happy. I'm just doing my job and I want to focus on my YouTube channel because that's where the universe is calling me for right now. So I know that sounds bizarre, but the reason I thought my career should be this corporate life and this thing is because how I was brought up. It was how the expectations go to a good school, get a good job, what's your GPA, that type of vibe, right? And so because of all that, like, I was the type of kid that would have to knock 3 times. I'd have to have the one on the thing on the microwave before it dinged or something bad was going to happen, all that stuff. And I still struggle with that. But the other day, the reason this topic came up was the other day, my boyfriend, something happened, and I was like, this has happened because I did this, and I shouldn't have done this, and the universe is pissed at me. And he's like, Carol, the reason it happened was because I'm trying to use an example. The reason you have allergies, this wasn't the reason, but whatever, is because the weather is changing. That's why you have allergies. You don't have allergies because you didn't super smile at the clerk the other day, right? Like, and that sounds crazy because like maybe you're listening to this like, well, I don't go that far. Well, some people fucking do, right? And the universe isn't just all about you, right? And once you get into the universe, the bad side will use those karmic entities to make you stuck in this loop so your journey is stagnant. So you're just repeating the same fucking class over and over and over again with a circle. And I'm going to show a visual here. I'll put it in here. With the circle, you can't make any other motions except for a curve, right? You can't go anywhere else. So you're like, well, I did this, so Trisha could, I hope she's not, but if Trisha's like, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and I'm going to do this and that and that and that. Well, if something fucking bad happens, that's not that big of a deal, but if bad happens, what if she starts thinking, oh my God, got to cleanse my karma. I got to do, no, it's because it's just part of your journey, right? It's just part of like what the universe needs you for. They'll still protect you if you still work with the universe, but it's not because you didn't donate money to someone. It's not because you didn't you missed an interview. It's not because you overslept. It's not because you didn't do a 5 a.m. ice bath. Like that's not the reason bad things happen to you. And it's not the reason good things happen to you. Because honestly, it's a really sick fucking way to look at the world. And it's kind of a selfish way. And I'm not dissing the girly pops because I was one of those girly pops. I still catching myself into those girly pop moments where I'm like tarot cards and da 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 da, and they're not real. Like they're not real. Don't limit yourself to fucking tarot cards, okay? And if you think about it, it's one of the I follow some people that maybe on my Instagram that maybe have ALS. You're fucking telling me this wonderful girl that did nothing to the world and is such a great humor and can see the dark and the bad things and just real with her journey and stuff. That's karma. That's fucking karma. No, fuck you. Like you can't have it both ways, right? You can't have it both ways. She didn't deserve that, right? Like she didn't deserve to have her fucking not be able to fucking breathe, okay? Like and have her brain still work, but not. Hi, buddy. I'm getting worked up. Somebody's like, I'm here. Like you're telling me that's fucking karma? Because karma doesn't pick and choose, if that's the truth. So it doesn't exist. Because if you think about it, that makes you a really shitty person. And again, I'm not saying you're a shitty person if you believe in karma. I'm just saying think bigger, right? Or manifestation or whatever. Alrighty. So sorry, I can sometimes get worked up, so I took a breath. But here's the thing. You'll look at the Jim Carrey thing, and I heard this story too, and I thought it was pretty cool. Where he, like, I don't remember. I think it was $1 million check. He wrote himself over $10 million, some ridiculous amount of money, and he wrote himself a check, and he went to the mountains, and it's a great story. I'm not dissing. It's a great story, and it happened, right? I believe him. And he wrote this check, and he said, "I'm gonna be Jim Carrey, the actor, and all these dreams are gonna happen." Blah blah blah. Bro is, first of all, depressed, so I don't, whatever, from what he gives off on the internet sometimes. But anyway, and he's gonna do all these magical things, right? So he writes himself a check, and then he becomes Jim Carrey, right? I love Jim Carrey. I love The Mask. I think he's hilarious. Like, thing. But what people now see is the story, and it's like, hey, you mom that's working at 5, write yourself a check and your dreams will come true, and say your manifestations and believe in it and have good karma and let people walk all over you, because you have to be a good person in order to succeed. And you just go in this circle until we die, pay bills in circles and die, and the same lessons we're learning over and over again. Your body's great, it's just the same fucking lessons in the earth. It's very limited here of what we know, right? Of the same lessons. We've done these classes, right? So back to the Jim Carrey thing. He writes this check. You're like, okay, well, that's introduction, right? So that's what the universe uses it as, right? So the universe goes in the good side anyway and says, look at this, Jim. Look, we knew Jim was going to be an actor from the start. We needed him in these movies. He had a purpose for us, for our greater journey here. But so we're going to have Jim tell this story because that's pretty fucking cool. And we know Jim likes to have that moment of being like, he wants to motivate people. He wants people to have their dreams too. And so they put him on there and they say, hey, Jim, tell your story. He's like, I'm going to motivate people and I'm going to tell this great story. And then people hear it and they're like, what is karma? What's manifestation? Ooh. And then they start getting more into the spiritual side, right? And then they find out that, oh no, it's a lot, like I did anyway. um but that's kind of how it introduces it, right? And same thing with Trisha. It introduces, people say, oh, she's been manifesting Beetlejuice forever. They see that she's manifestation, but they know that's for an audience that she's manifestation, right? To get more recruited, right, into the supernatural life, to get them on their right journey, to get them a little nudge, to get them to quit that job so they can go more on their YouTube journey, or they can, it's very tricky, right? They know how humans' minds work, right? Now let's say, okay, I'm not going to use any names here. Let's just say, um, uh, Miss Jiff, okay, because I'm looking at peanut butter. Miss Jiff had the same kind of journey as Trisha, right? Like a little messy at the beginning, then and then now she's on her spiritual journey, because clearly Trisha's on some kind of spiritual journey, right? She's on her spiritual journey. She went through life. She found her universe vibe. She's going. Well, she's still in her manifestation bag. She thinks all these things are happening because manifestation, because she's still early on in her journey, right? Well, then what happens is the bad guys, they're recruiting too. So they come in and they start messing with you. And the bad guys could be your coworker. They could be your great Uncle Ed. They could be the customer service rep. They could be anybody. And they can find something. They look up online Trisha, or I'm sorry, I'm not trying to use example. They look on Susie Q's, or Mrs. Jiff's, sorry, Mrs. Jiff's Instagram, right? And they see way at the bottom, they see something where she's like, man, I feel so guilty for, not supporting this cause, but now I'm making my right. They come in and they start using that as leverage. And then you start getting in this karmic circle that you feel like you can never fucking get out of, right? Because it's like, okay, well, someone made me feel bad about that again. I'm going to go donate, like cleanse myself. And then you're still back in that fucking circle, right? And you're still in that loop and you can't get out. And the universe that's on the good side can't really use you anymore because you're still stuck in that past, right? And that vortex of circles that you can't get out of. Now, don't get me wrong, the good side of the universe does want to help you, but they also have a shit ton of people they need to protect. So helping you could put other people in jeopardy because of the people that you're talking to that's manifesting your anxieties with fucking karma, right? So what the bad people does, so you're in this circle, right? And you're just circling and circling and circling and, trying to get out of this and seeing other people move on with their journey. And you're like, why am I still in this circle? And then the bad people see that and they're like, hey, girl, what's going on? Oh, this karma thing and da, 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 I'll show you how to do the right karma. Here's all your rewards. They don't, the good side doesn't give you all your rewards in 1 second, right? They spread it out because it's probably going to be a long journey and you need some time to enjoy things in life, not just do a $90,000 Hermes haul. Like, you got to spread some of the good shit out, right? And so, but the bad side will be like, hey, girl, hey, hey, what's up? Here, you're a good person. No, oh my goodness. Oh, it's because Johnny Q you broke up with Johnny Q and you think all those bad things. Oh, that's what they do. They make you're never good enough, huh? You're never skinny enough, huh? You're not pretty enough, huh? You didn't go to the gym on Saturday, huh? That's horrible. They can't. You had a hurt knee. You couldn't go to the gym. All right. But it's not because the good side doesn't want to reward you for things or see that you're a good person or see your good qualities. The good side just can't risk jeopardizing them to all those people that now that because you were in your karmic circle. Now, don't get me wrong, the good side will come back for you. Say you're still in your circle, the good, and even if you're talking to the bad side and you didn't maybe do any deals, let's put it that way, nicely. If you made a deal, then I don't know, that's a different story. But you're still kind of like figuring this things out. They will always come back for you. They don't like leaving people behind. They're very territorial from what I've learned in my journey. They're very territorial of their people, right? Very. So it doesn't mean that they forget about mischief. On the contrary, they probably have eyes watching them, seeing who she's interacting with, right? And then we'll probably move in if it's necessary. But to maybe help your journey, anytime you're in that loop where you're like, this happened because of this, good or bad, you say, no, I landed this role because I studied, I worked hard, I was open to the universe, I worked with the universe, I, did, I worked hard, right? I did this. I wasn't perfect on my journey, but my intentions were good and I worked hard. I had some slip ups, but hey, that's anybody and no one's perfect. And the universe doesn't want you to be perfect because then the universe can't use you then. Like there's nothing to do with the universe if you're perfect, right? So, right, that's why you got it. If something bad happens, like say you slipped and it was raining, you didn't do it because you missed your workout. You didn't slip and break your ankle. They'll do that too, where it's like, well, you didn't go to your workout, so we'll just make you not be able to work out ever again for the next month. So here's your broken ankle. No, you didn't. You broke your ankle because it was wet out, right? Oh, and I know this is like all over the place, but that's just how I see the world. So I want to go back to this whole, and I'm going to use a visual for this, of this whole being stuck in a loop, right? So here's your circle, right? You're in a karmic circle, and not even just with the karma thing, but also with the whole, and mind my nails, I'm gonna get them done soon. But even with the whole karma thing, like it's other things. It's like the weight loss journey, like loving your bodies. Like we know this. Like it's great to love your bodies. Everybody's beautiful. But we're learning the same lesson over and over again. There'll be times where skinny's in, and then there'll be a rampage of people saying, love your bodies, and then, body acceptance. And then I'll have the same cycle over and over and over again. That's how the world limits you with all these worries that they put you in the brain that make you have your fake self because you're protecting yourself, right? Because you've all these worries that shouldn't exist. So here you are stuck in your little loop de loop, right? Which the bad guys love it because then they can trap you into that, right? Just make you that tiny little dot where all you care about is materialistic things and more money and more things and stuff that doesn't even really exist, right? And then you have the other side. Now, I prefer to consider myself I have a shaky tremor, so ignore that. I've always had one, so this is really ghetto. But you have 3 points, right? That's a triangle, right? So when you're on your journey, you're like, ooh, I learned about karma. Now I learned that, okay, karma has its purpose, but it really doesn't exist. And I learned the purpose of karma in introductions. Then I go over here and I say, okay, I'm going to learn about, um, I don't know, something else that introduces you aliens, right? And you're like, oh, wow, aliens have a purpose in the universe too. Mosey over here. Whoo, like ghosties. I didn't know about this, about ghosties. And then maybe you go back a little bit, learn this a little bit more, learn this. A little extra learning. And then you go and you say, hey, I want to learn more about why the universe is doing this. Why are we here on this planet, right? Then I want to learn, ooh, why are ghosts don't prefer water? Go over here. Oh, what attracts aliens or what pisses aliens off? Go over here. Say, all right, I'm done with these lessons. I've done them a few times. Go over here. Wow, I didn't know we could do telepathy. Just throwing things out. Wow, I didn't know I could do this because I didn't have the distractions of being fat or skinny. Go over here. Wow, that's crazy. What do you mean my parents are actually this? Go over here. What the fuck are you talking about, bitch? Like, and you just learn more and more and more. It's a constellation. But if you're stuck in this thought process that things that you're doing on this earth are your karmic value, you're missing out on, it's like the ocean, right? We know 5% of the ocean. We know probably 0.02% of the universe, right? And if you just keep exploring how karma works, which doesn't really fucking exist, it's a trick, a recruiting trick, then you're missing out on all the other motherfucking things, right? And then you're gonna be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm talking to an alien right now. For fuck Johnny Q. He was an asshole anyway. Why am I feeling guilty about this? Like, and it goes beyond just breaking up. The universe will forgive really bad crimes. They won't trust you right away. That's the difference. They won't. They will have their eyes on you. You will be on probation. You will be locked in with them, right? But they will forgive things, right? Because in their universe, what we do on this world is probably just a little drop in the bucket. So no, love Taylor, Karma and a cat. Right? Karma and a cat. Not your boyfriend. It doesn't exist. And honestly, that should put a really big weight off your shoulders. Right. And it goes for the bad thing. You know, I get like that too, where I get frustrated where I'm like, why doesn't this bad person get punishment? Why doesn't this, the universe will take care of them. Their punishment, the way I look at it, the longer it takes to do the punishment, the worse it is, because the universe likes to give chances and they'll take notes while you don't take those chances, and they'll just keep taking up your notes. I've said this before. It's like the Target example. Target doesn't just throw you in jail for spending $30. They'll keep stealing $30 worth of stuff. They'll keep an eye on you, and then they'll rack it up. You still over 500, and they're like, "How we got you fair on me now? He 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 he. We tried to help you. You didn't listen." That's how the universe works, especially when you know more about the universe than maybe the average Joe. All right, don't take advantage of the universe. Now, you might be wondering, okay, well, what else is there to learn if it's not just about loving yourself and karma and manifestation? That is where I'm going to start getting into my new videos. I kind of feel like my videos have been a little bit um kind of a recap of what I've experienced, mostly for myself and whoever's interested in it. Um but I'm going to start, my next video is going to kind of start expanding on how to connect the dots and how to build your constellation. Let's put it that way. But I will say, anytime you feel like something went wrong or something went right, just say, I am a triangle, I ain't no circle. Because trust me, even though the circle might be comfortable, it's not good for you. Anyway, trust me. All right. I know this is a weird video, but hopefully maybe you have a different perspective on karma and why it doesn't believe it. Now, do I think people that do tarot cards, there are some people that could be intuitive? Yeah, but it has nothing to do with them pulling a card. It has to do with them being intuitive. And then obviously there's just the frauds, but that's another story. All right. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope everyone's having a great day, and stay curious and stay tuned into the supernatural.
Thanks for watching.